So here we start our new video, and here you can see the knowledge requirements is given. Pause the video to read all of these, and after you are done with it, structure of the program. Now how the program is structured, it is shown here. There is the initialization, processing and output. First initialize some variables, scan one variable which is original, then we'll do some processing, comparison with original variables, and finally we are going to get some output from that. Now while in the processing, there is the part where you guys get confused. Extracting or separating numbers. Yes, this is what we actually need to do here. For example, I have taken a number that I am going to show how the numbers are separated. The example is 345, which is taken here. We are going to repeatedly divide it by 10 and store the remainder. For example, part 1, 345 divided by 10, store remainder which is 5, rightmost digit. In second step, it will store the 4 as the remainder, and the final step it will store the 10 as the remainder. Thus in each step we are getting a different remainder, and if we put our mind to the good use, then we can use the remainder in each step and do any kind of logical operation with it. Now there is a code example where I am going to show you what I wanted to say. The code is of a twisted prime. Now here the logic that I am using for twisted prime is not completely correct. The last part will be changed. In the end of the video we are going to see how we are changing it. For now let us proceed like this. As I have said, at first we are going to need to scan some variable. We are going to take some kind of input from the user to check twisted prime for this time. So before we check twisted prime, we need to check the input that we are going to take, that is prime number or not. So let us first make the code for prime number only, then we are going to make it for the twisted prime. Twisted prime is nothing but the number which is taken, that should be prime, and when we reverse the number, that reversed number should also be prime. Now here I am going to use a flag variable to make sure if the number is prime or not. And in case of flag variable, the variable needs to be initialized with 0. That's the case. And you might see me adding various variables and removing them. That's just because it's raw footage of me trying to solve the code. It was not scripted at all. This part was just raw. Here, that's what we tried to check. We tried to divide the number up to n by 2. But the problem here is that I initialized the I with 1, which does not give a prime number, because every number can be divided with 1, and that makes the flag 1, which is for not a prime number. So soon I am going to change that. I am going to initialize the I with a 2. So only for the prime numbers we are going to get the flag as 1, and in other cases the flag shall remain 0, which will make sure that it is not a prime number. And there is the division, which you can see clearly. That's not a problem there. Is the 15 not a prime number? Probably at this stage the prime number thing was just working fine. Yes, from this stage, when I initialized I with 2, the prime number part is working. Now it comes the time for me to make it the code for twisted prime number. As I've said, when I started writing this code, my understanding of twisted prime number was not good. That's why I made a mistake with the logic, and that is why right now the logic that I am going to write, this will not give that twisted prime. Instead, I remain confused for a few minutes, and that's just what happened. This part needs to be changed. Yes, the reverse number also needs to be prime. Then I'll need to check if both the first number and the reverse number are prime. Only then it will be a twisted prime number. And when I understood the logic, I changed my code according to such. I have taken another flag, which is flag 2, and I have copied and pasted the for loop which I had used for the prime number, and that was all. The code was working perfectly, and then I have started the Linux from here, from the virtual machine, Oracle VM VirtualBox. That's what I'm going to use for running the virtual machine this time. I have Kali Linux here, but you can use any Linux, you can use Ubuntu or anything. The steps are going to be same. As I've said, UI might be a little different, nothing much. So after giving the password, we have logged into the Linux. Here we are going to start the command prompt or the terminal. It's called terminal in Linux. The code touch, what it does is it just creates a file, touch, and the file name any.c, and the file has been created. In home we can see that there is a file which is called any.c, which we have just created right now. Then as you can see, I have copied and pasted the code that I had written there, and now we are going to compile and run it. This now there we have to save it in the file. The file is modified here. Now gcc program name space minus of o space program name. Yes, compilation has been done without any error. Now dot slash to run it, dot slash name of the program, and now it runs. Enter any numbers to check. We are using 3 numbers here. 19, which is a prime number but not a twisted prime, because 91 can be divided by 7. Now we are going to check 13, which is a prime number, and the reverse 31, that is also a prime number. That is why it is going to be a twisted prime number. Now we are going to check 10, which is not a prime number, so it won't be a twisted prime number either. And that's how it works. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching, and the notes are provided in the description.